My name's Henry Holloway. I'm the owner-operator of the mill of Bel Air in Bel Air, Maryland. We're a feed mill farm supply service. We supply farmers and agriculture within the Mid-Atlantic region with seed, feed, and fertilizer. The building next door is a four-story frame building that was originally built in 1887 by the Record family. They built the structure to be used as a facility to produce flour. Since then, it's evolved from flour production into the production of livestock feed. My mother's father, my grandfather, Smith Walter, purchased the facility in 1958, and at that time he retrofitted the flour mill to grind, mix, and blend different livestock feeds. You know, if you go back 50 years ago, there were thousands of mills. In this county, I'd have to sit down and start counting, writing it out, but at one time there were probably 30 or 40 grist mills in this county that primarily produced flour. And most of those mills eventually evolved into the production of livestock feed. There were about 8 mills that were still grinding and blending feed in 1983. And today there are 4, and it's not going to grow. It's going to diminish. There'll be fewer going forward. There's still demand for dairy feed, horse feed, hogs, cattle, sheep, and there's still a market for those items. But due to, I guess, automation, enhanced production, speed, and homeland security, these old frame feed mills are a thing of the past and won't continue. There are lots and lots of people that have worked in this feed mill from the agricultural community. Most of the people that would have worked here would have had some type of farm background and probably did business here or had feed made here. And even the folks that are here today working, most of them have some type of connection to a farm, whether it was their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents, an aunt, and uncle. They're all related to farming in some way, shape, or form. Because we find that if we can hire folks that have some type of farm background, and they at least have some idea of the products, they generally have a much stronger work ethic. If you can support local business and local industry, you're helping to support employment and the job base, and the money stays here. For instance, a lot of our inputs would come locally. The grains that we use for blending here, anything that can be purchased locally, we buy locally. All the corn, all the barley that we use in feedstuffs through this mill are bought from local farmers. It is certainly an odor all its own. When you walk in that feed mill, you definitely have the smell of milled grains, the freshness of milled grains, and molasses. We use a lot of liquid molasses, particularly on horse feeds and calf feeds, and it has a very sweet-smelling, strong odor. And you definitely, a frame feed mill such as this one holds those odors versus something that's stainless steel. These, it seems like the odor sinks into that wood and it maintains that flavor, if you will. Dust is always an issue. We're constantly cleaning, sweeping, to be able to meet the regs for our government agencies in regards to, a safe workplace. And in regards to dust, there is occasionally we'll get a phone call thinking that the building's on fire, and it's actually dust from milled grains. The bread and butter and backbone of this business is agriculture. And we have to maintain, in order to be viable, we have to have viable farmers in this county. And whether you're growing 1,000 acres of corn or 100 acres of hay, or you have a half a dozen cattle in your backyard, a few sheep, or a 4-H project, all those customers are extremely important to us. And I also think the entire social atmosphere of this county is improved by maintaining a really strong agricultural base. Our rural farmland and the vistas that they produce certainly make Harford County a favorable place to live in versus housing developments.